Nice to be here. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me talk to you about filthy garnishes. My name is Filthy Daniel. I am here. I'm the founder of a company called Filthy Food, and we make these beautiful garnishes specifically for cocktails. So now we're at home and we don't get to see our favorite bartender unless we live with them. We're going to have to make some beautiful cocktails at home, but we want to still elevate the experience. We want to still enjoy at home what we were getting in our favorite bars, restaurants and hotels. So Filthy is used by some of the best bars and restaurants in the world. We make garnishes specifically for cocktails. So we don't put olive that are made for salads into our martinis, and we don't use very sugary dessert cherries for our Manhattans or our old fashions. We use garnishes that we designed specifically for cocktails. So my brother and I went on a journey. We spent 2 years. We looked at 230 varieties of cultivatable olives and cherries to create a line specifically to elevate your experience of making cocktails at home. So what makes us different? Well, first of all, we naturally cure all of the olives. So that means when we pick them from the trees, instead of using chemicals to cure them with thickens the skin and shuts down all the pores, it means you have to add a lot of salt and oil into that olive to give it back flavor and texture, which is why you always got that oil slick on top of your martinis. We don't do any of that. We naturally cure over months instead of days with chemicals, which is why the best bars of the world use Filthy. The black cherry. So you're going to be making your favorite whiskey cocktails at home, classic Manhattans and old fashions. Normally the dessert cherries that are made for Shirley Temples, bright red with the stem on, great for your tiki cocktails, pina coladas, daiquiris, but when you're elevating the experience around premium bourbons or ryes, you're going to want to have a slightly better experience in all of the details. And so Filthy Black Cherries is an all-natural Amarena cherry from northern Italy. We slow cook them in copper pots. Why is that important? Well, copper is antimicrobial, which basically means that you don't need to add a lot of preservatives or high levels of sugar. The copper at heat kills any bacteria, which means we can control the temperature, give you a lovely, delicate skin and a really complex flavor. Most of the cherries that you're going to try, so even black cherries that are out there from other brands, they're made for desserts. They're made for bakers and not for bartenders, which means they tend to have a very singular sweet note. Very sweet, very, very high in sugar, with not much complexity in the flavor. So it's basically like, I think of taste like sound. So when I taste some of those other cherries, it's like hearing one sweet, sugary note, almost like a tuba or something, as opposed to something that's really complex. So normally in a Manhattan, you have this overproof, sharp, rye whiskey or a lovely bourbon. So you're going to want to have something that complements that, and then you're going to have to look for something that holds up at the back end of that cocktail. What do I mean by that? Well, cocktails that are really spirit forward, that strong, sharp spirit tends to overpower a lot of the other subtleties that are in there. So normally cherries don't really add anything to the complexity or to the flavor of that particular drink. What they do is they just add nothing. It's like a little orb that floats around in the bottom of your drink. The Filthy Black Cherry is an all-natural Amarena cherry from northern Italy. We slow cook them in these beautiful copper pots. Can you see that? Gorgeous black cherry, really premium. So much less sugar than normal cherries. We don't have to add a lot of sugar into it because the slow cooking preserves the fruit. The flavor profile is going to get sweet on the front, and then you're going to get this long tart finish. That complexity is what is going to contribute to your bourbon and whiskey cocktails, and not, as I said before, just be this singular sweet note. So the all-natural Amarena cherry from northern Italy is slow cooked in these beautiful copper pots. It has this sweet front, tart finish, and it was the top 10 best new bar products in the world at Tales of the Cocktail. Filthy Black Cherry, top 10 best new bar products in the world at Tales of the Cocktail, which is basically like the Bartenders Academy Awards. So when you go into bars and restaurants and hotels and you were ordering these wonderful classic whiskey cocktails, they probably had filthy garnishes in them and you just didn't know that. So now you get to create those cocktails at home. You want to elevate the experience. Filthy Black Cherry is the easiest way for you to elevate your premium whiskey cocktail at your home experience. So Filthy Black Cherries, all of the details are below. Has about 50 cherries inside of the jar. Great value. Again, all natural products, so no preservatives, no additives, no coloring, nothing added into it. A really premium product that's used in the best bars, restaurants and hotels in the world. So let's go on to the Filthy Blue Cheese Olives. Filthy Blue Cheese. If you are a martini drinker or you're doing a lot of Bloody Marys at the moment, every morning is a Bloody Mary brunch, well, you're going to want to elevate that, make it a bit more interesting. So you're probably adding all sorts of different things from your refrigerator. The Filthy Blue Cheese Olive is real sharp Wisconsin blue cheese. It's the only blue cheese olive, let me hold that for you, that's not in an oil-based brine. So what that means is, instead of being this really oily, salty olive, where the cheese is sometimes like a little cube, you've probably seen that in a lot of the already bottled blue cheese olives, unless you're stuffing them themselves, where the blue cheese itself is like a little cube, almost of like feta, that's been injected with blue cheese flavoring. So you don't get a particularly good mouthfeel. You're not going to get the fleshiness of the olive and the creaminess of the blue cheese, which is what you're going to experience right now with Filthy Blue Cheese Olives. Fleshy, beautiful Greek olives, which are stuffed with real sharp Wisconsin blue cheese, really creamy, really delicious. You get that lovely mouthfeel, the playing of the fleshiness against the creaminess. Fantastic way to elevate your martinis or your Bloody Marys at home. So instead of using regular salad olives that are super oily, salty, you're just going to put them in that martini and get the slick on top. You don't get any of that with Filthy. Naturally cured, it takes us 4 months instead of 4 days with chemicals, and the Filthy Blue Cheese Olives are in some of the best bars, restaurants and hotels in the world. So, we were talking about Bloody Marys before. Well, this is the Filthy Pickle. It is a beautiful little olive stuffed with a crunchy little gherkin. We basically take these wonderful fleshy olives, queen olives, and we put them on one side of the table, and we take these firm, filthy little pickles and put them on the other side of the table, and we turn out the lights and we put Barry White music on. And then basically we turn back up the lights up, we take the little filthy pickle, and we just have to get them inside of the jars before they scare. An absolutely unique item to Filthy, fantastic in your Bloody Marys, also a wonderful way to elevate your martini cocktail. If you want to have something that's a little bit more interesting, as you can see there, fantastic little Filthy Pickle inside your martinis. Fleshy, crunchy, half the amount of salt of regular olives. As I said before, chemically curing, strips the fruit of everything that makes it wonderful, everything that we love about olive oil. So they have to add a lot of salt and oil back in to give it flavor and texture, which is why you've got that oil, salty slick on top of your martinis. You don't get any of that with Filthy. These are cured naturally for 4 months instead of 4 days with chemicals. The Filthy Pickle, fantastic item for your Bloody Marys, for your martinis, for all of those different sort of cocktails. Again, it's really about, during this time, being nice to yourself, giving yourself the cocktail you think you deserve that is encompassed with all of the little details that you think you deserve. At this time, yes, you're gonna be going around your cabinet trying to find what's left there. Maybe it's just a bottle of whatever and you want to make some cocktail out of it, and you're going online and you're looking at all these wonderful mixologists and different recipes. Filthy garnishes is a great way for you to add something a little bit beautiful in the details to give your cocktail and to give you the garnish it deserves. So we talked about Filthy Black Cherry, all natural Amarena cherry from northern Italy, slow cooked in copper pots. We talked about the Filthy Blue Cheese Olive, which was real sharp Wisconsin blue cheese. You get the lovely creaminess of the cheese against the fleshiness of the olive. And we talked about the Filthy Pickle, which is the lovely crunchy little pickle inside of a fleshy olive, great mouthfeel, amazing in Bloody Marys and to jazz up your martinis. So talking about martinis, dirty martinis. Now, this is the Filthy Olive Brine. It is a 5 times filtered olive brine made to make the world's cleanest dirty martinis. So here's what happens. You go to your bars, restaurants and hotels, and if they're not using filthy brine, they're taking the big gallons of olives where the brine has turned rancid and they're pouring that in to make your dirty martini. No consistency, no quality, and it's really going to detract from the experience that you're trying to have. So a lot of bars have moved to the filthy olive brine. We control the process all the way from the fields all the way to the bottling. So our naturally cured olives, we take the brine, we use that mother brine to create this 5 times filtered olive brine. We dilute with water, so you're going to get all of that lovely flavor without any of the sediment and the salt and the stuff that's really going to detract from the premium vodka or gin that you're putting it in. So 5 times filtered olive brine, used by the best bars and restaurants in the world. It's a 12-ounce bottle, which basically means that you get, if you're doing 1/4 of an ounce, about 48 servings. So really great value. If you like it really dirty, and if dirty's not enough, you want to get a little filthy, you're probably going to go more for an ounce, half an ounce to an ounce. So plenty of servings in here. Really easy. You take off the cap, remove the tamper-evident seal, and then you go straight in without any of the pouring out of the gallons or ending up with half a jug or jar of dried out olives. What tends to happen is people will pouring the brine out from the jar of olives, ending up with half a jug of dried out olives, which they end up throwing away. So we do this 5 times filtered olive brine, made specifically for cocktails, really wonderful in your martinis if you like a little dirty martini with premium vodka. So I'm going to recap everything for you. I've got about a minute to go. So first of all, thank you for spending time with me. I hope you and your loved ones are all safe. I hope you're being nice to yourself at this time by elevating your cocktail experience in the details. Filthy is my brother and I started the company. It's a family business here in Miami, Florida. We make beautiful garnishes for cocktails used by the best bars, restaurants, hotels in the world. So if you want to elevate that experience at home, elevate your cocktails, you can do that in a really simple way by choosing filthy garnishes over salad olives or dessert cherries. So just a quick recap: filthy black cherries, all natural Amarena cherry from northern Italy, slow cooked in copper pots, sweet front, tart finish, top 10 best new bar products in the world, the only garnish ever nominated, so fantastic in your Manhattans, your old fashions. We've got filthy blue cheese olives, real sharp Wisconsin blue cheese, which is creamy Wisconsin blue cheese against the fleshiness of the olive. A really wonderful way to elevate your martinis or your Bloody Marys without having to hand stuff yourself. The filthy pickle, which is a great item for a little bit of fun inside your Bloody Marys or martinis, fleshiness and crunchiness. And last but certainly not least, we have a lot of friends out there that are crushing dirty martinis at the moment, and this is a really simple way to do that. You don't have to pour the olive brine out of your olives. You get this lovely 5 times filtered olive brine made by Filthy in this really convenient squeeze bottle. So again, stay safe, be healthy. I would say drink responsibly. You don't really need to drink responsibly. You're not driving anywhere or going anywhere, but stay home, be safe, make yourself some beautiful elevated cocktails. And again, thank you so much for visiting us. Family business here in Florida. Appreciate you tuning in. Take care, stay filthy. Cheers.